Hello world, welcome back to Razor RC. Today I am doing a review of some raw speed tires that they sent me. So I've got two different types of tires. I've got the stage 2 front wheel tires for a two-wheel drive buggy. And then they also sent me the Riptides, which is their latest tire. These are 2.2 inch rear buggy tires. And they also sent me some Riptides in the short course versions. Obviously, all four tires are the same. So these are their latest two tires. Pretty much their recommended combination for indoor treaded tires. They also make slicks and some other types. So they sent these out to me for review, and I just wanted to give you my thoughts. So I've been running these for the last few months. Here in Northern California, we generally run slicks in the winter and treaded tires in the summer. I reached out to Raw Speed, and Greg Hodat recommended the stage 2 fronts with the Riptide rears. So obviously the Riptides look a little bit like Electrons, kind of a similar pattern. So Raw Speed's been around for 3 or 4 years now. They've gone through a lot of different variations in tires. I think some of the earlier ones were like the Enigma, the Autocorrect, and the Rocket tires, but these are their latest. I think they've been improving the designs overall. I was a little worried about trying Raw Speed tires because I know some other people at the track had tried some of the really early versions 3 or 4 years ago and didn't have much luck with those. So you know, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect with Raw Speed tires, but I am happy to announced that they did actually work quite well and exceeded my expectations. So I just want to give you my thoughts. First of all, these are their clay compound tires. I did notice a little bit of difference between this clay compound and some other brands I've used like Proline, J Concepts, etc. The rubber does feel a little more elastic. They feel closer to something like a sauced indoor clay tire, even though they haven't been sauced. So a little bit of a softer, more elastic tire. It does make it a little bit more challenging to glue up because it doesn't just snap into the bead quite as much as other brands. So I definitely recommend using some tire bands when you're gluing these things up. If you're not confident in your tire gluing skills, you may find this slightly more difficult, but you know, obviously if you know how to glue tires, this is not really going to be a problem. So yeah, interesting tires overall. The stage 2 fronts have an unusual design, kind of this X pattern with their sort of rocket shaped pattern. So this is an evolution of their rocket design, kind of a newer version. And I was actually quite pleased with these tires. I found that they broke in very, very fast. My typical break-in procedure is just to glue them up, sauce them, run them on asphalt or pavement for a while, do some figure eights, scrub them in, and then basically sauce, run them, clean them, sauce, run them, clean them, rinse and repeat. And usually after about, I'd say 5 or 6 packs, they feel like they're pretty good, well broken in and kind of performing to peak conditions. So doing indoor tire reviews is always a little bit tricky because a lot depends on your tire preparation, your track, your driving style, even what type of vehicle you're driving, the environment like heat, humidity, that kind of thing. So it's hard to get consistent results and a really good feel. So I did want to make sure I did run these quite a few times before during review. So the stage 2 fronts, I found they had a ton of grip, broken really fast, tons of steering, maybe more steering than any other indoor clay tire I've tried. I was actually completely surprised at how much steering and side traction these provide, because it's really kind of a strange tread pattern to me. Definitely different than dirt webs or Electrons or pretty much any other style I've seen before. But yeah, tons of steering with the fronts. No issues with the forward or back traction. Obviously on two-wheel drive, the front wheels are just rolling, so they're not doing a whole lot in terms of forward and backward traction, but the side bite is really important, and I did find tons of side bite with these. Now obviously I paired these with the Riptide rears, which take their inspiration obviously from Electrons, very similar style. So I was expecting these to pretty much kind of drive like Electrons, and they're actually quite different. I did find them to be a little bit different. Once again, the rubber is softer. The foams are quite good holding up. But what I noticed with these is that they provide a little more forward traction. I mean, getting on the throttle, I felt like you get on the throttle a lot harder, even on a 17.5 stock buggy, than my Electrons. Side bite is also very, very good. I'd say forward traction is extremely high. Side traction is very high. Electrons are a little bit smoother overall, in my opinion. Maybe have a tad more side bite. I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell. They're very, very close, but these provide a ton of forward traction. Some other interesting things I noticed with these tires is that the drop off between saucing and not saucing the tires is a little more gradual. With something like a Proline Electron or Proline Prime or some of the other brands, I felt like you would sauce them, you'd get a ton of traction, and then they kind of drop off a little more quickly. These, it seemed like they would drop off a little more slowly, and I think there is something different about this rubber. I mean, it's more elastic, a little bit softer, like I said. Almost feels like it's already kind of a broken in or sauced tire right off the bat. So I feel like these require a little less break-in, or just are going to perform a little more consistently from new to when they've been sauced and broken in, and even when the sauce is wearing off. So really interesting tire overall. Now these sell for about $22, $23. I think the two-wheel drive buggy stuff is about $22. The short course stuff is about $22, $23. So pretty typical price range. But the really good value, I think, in Raw Speed tires is to get their pre-mounts. These are not the pre-mounts, but the pre-mounts are like $25 a pair. And considering a pair of wheels is, $7, $8, $9, you're saving some money getting the pre-mounts. You're obviously not having to glue them up yourself. And Raw Speed makes excellent wheels also. Check out my indoor buggy wheel review, where I actually compare the Raw Speed wheels against Team Associated and TLR. So the wheels are excellent. The tires are actually quite excellent. I was kind of surprised, honestly, how good they are, because some people had commented they didn't feel like they were as grippy as some of the other brands that we run. We typically run Electrons, or some people run Dirt Webs, but these are excellent, and I think just as good, if not better, than some of those other brands. So I was very happy with the two-wheel drive buggies. I also ran the short course tires in the Riptide compound and style. Again, these are the clay compound whites. And these also performed quite well. A lot of forward traction, as I mentioned, with the two-wheel drive buggies. Side traction was fine, very consistent, very smooth feeling tire, no issues whatsoever. Short course is a little bit harder to tell because you kind of have a limit to how much traction you can actually use, because short course trucks are so heavy, and especially top heavy, and tend to traction roll with too much traction. But these performed quite well. I mounted these onto the Proline wheels, but yeah, very good tires overall. I am quite happy with them. Definitely the pre-mount version, I think, is one of the best values in RC indoor clay tires, because it's a really good price and they're really good tires. And if you have any concerns about gluing up tires, that's probably the best way to go. I personally don't like gluing up tires that much, and so if I can avoid it, I don't mind doing that. And if it's cheaper to boot, hey, why not? So anyways, that's my review of the Raw Speed tires for their treaded Riptides and Stage 2 fronts. Excellent tires. I think if you're looking for a little more steering out of your buggy, this is probably a good tire to try. I mean, they are extremely grippy, a ton of side bite, and I found, if you didn't have a high performing rear tire, you would have almost too much steering. So these match up quite well, and pretty happy with the tires overall. So I do like them a lot. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe my channel, share with your friends, and look for more videos soon. Thanks for watching.